Good evening. We take you out to France, Roubaix, France, to the Tissot UCI World Track Cycling Championships, where we're going to give you commentary, douglAR politics style. Run it, Archie. Nicholas Paul in the kilometer time trial World Championship race. And there we have the power from Trinidad and Tobago, the land, the southernmost Caribbean island, with the land of steel pan and limbo. Remove me from the picture. We want to see Nicholas Paul. He has gotten up to full speed after 250 meters. You can remove me, Archie. I don't want to see myself. I want to see Nicholas Paul. And the crowd has gone wild as this man is burning up the track for Trinidad and Tobago. The red, white, and black blazing so hard. He's actually scorching the wooden track in France. Trinidad and Tobago heading to be number one. This Nicholas Paul, he went 59.26 in the morning. Can he bring it home? He's dying. Tighten up a little bit. Lactic acid into him. But Paul for Trinidad and Tobago, oh, he crosses the time. He's coming in with just about 200 meters to go. Can he drive it home? This powerful, brilliant man from Gasparillo, Trinidad and Tobago, the Southland. 59.791. He goes into the lead with one cyclist to go. Nicholas Paul bringing silver to Trinidad and Tobago. Well done, my brother. His time was a little bit slower than in the semi-final, but he brought it home with such blistering speed. He rode on the shoulders of the greats like Gene Samuel, Roger Given, and all of the others. Compton Gonzalez, Leslie King, Fitzroy Hunt, Hoyt, all of them celebrating this Nicholas Paul at the World Championships. And it's more to come because he may have slowed down with about 750 gone. He was fastest. But then he had a little bit of lactic acid. Remember, this is a young, talented cyclist who's just coming out. Now, as he goes into the match sprint and the Kering, remember what happened to him in the Olympics. He was the fastest man, but he came out because of lack of experience. He made some poor decisions. So we will be watching the coach and the managers to see if they have gotten into his head to let him know and believe that he is the fastest, because the way he rides, the choices he makes in a split second will determine if he will bring gold, because he is the fastest man in the world representing the red, white, and black of Trinidad and Tobago, Nicholas Paul. And for that silver medal, if there was a policy in place, because elections have consequences, and the policy that I had that required no discussion, no friendship, no love up, no organization, no begging, no K-Pax licking will mean silver medal, World Championship, $500,000. Also guaranteed 4 more years, $250,000 full elite funding, plus all medical, all physiotherapy, all surgery, anything for the next 4 years, guaranteed. Shakonia Gold. Those would have been the automatic rewards based on the booklet produced by the United National Congress for rewards. But that's the UNC. We take subjectivity out of it. But elections have consequences, so let the debate begin now. Oh, what he should get, what he shouldn't get, who should get, who dance, who go get, who go gallery. Nonsense. But if you all like nonsense, elections have consequences. So had the UNC been in power, that would have been what he got. Just like how J. Hugh Gordon, gold 2013, he got 750,000 as HDC house, just below that Keshawn Walcon got for the gold medal. Keshawn got Olympic gold, 1 million plus a house, Shakonia gold, and something named in his name for forever, for his legacy. J. Hugh Gordon plus his coach got 300,000, so his coach would be in line if the policy was in place for 250,000, and so on, moving on into the next Olympics. That's the way it should be, because sport is you do the times, you work hard, end of story. You don't like nobody, you don't beg nobody, you don't ask for nothing, you deserve it. But then that's how the UNC believes in sport. PNM, well, good for you. Oh Lord, as I say PNM, oh Lord, West Indies. Calypso girls, to my netball girls, I humbly apologize on behalf of the country. I appreciate and I respect your effort, your tenacious ability to just go there in dire circumstances and play 3 games and keep your head up and keep fighting, keep sweating, keep trying. I respect your effort to my netball queens, my netball girls. I apologize on behalf of the PNM government for sending you there underprepared to play Jamaica and to be obliterated. But they don't care. But we do. I do. So I apologize. Okay, I had no choice. I had no chance, no nothing to do nothing. But I apologize on behalf of our country for sending you out to Jamaica. Underprepared, unprepared, without resources, without any sort of preparation into the Lions' den. Unfortunately, our girls went down 73-22 in the last game, 64-32 in the second game, and 66-22 in the first game to Jamaica. But never big thing, champion. Nobody lives there. Nobody lives there. We in charge. We in charge. Live with that. Yes, all of us have to live in pain. That's why I have on this black t-shirt, because democracy is dead. The country is suffering. Nothing working. Our athletes are underprepared. Nicholas Paul, yes. Thank the Lord Kamala built a cycling velodrome that he could have been spotted, natural talent, and now he is out there with great coaches, paying money outside rather than training home. What we want to say, you want a gallery now? Bring his coaches here, bring other people here, bring international cyclists here, let 20 of them train, bring international teams here to train in that velodrome so Nicholas Paul could live right here in Gasparillo and inspire others to come in his wake. None of you have to go out and be away from his friends and family. He could do that training right here in the comfort and the passion of Trinidad and Tobago. But all you don't have that plan, all you wouldn't understand that. So, what can I say? Everything in Trinidad and Tobago not working. Our democracy died in the parliament, and we will deal with that shortly. All over Trinidad and Tobago, no water, no roads, people busting tire, landslip, bridge. Archie, just show them a little piece of what is going on in this country under the darkness, the dark cloud that is the PNM and Keith Christopher Rowley.
Right now! Right now! Right now! Right now! Right now! We want the road fixed! We want the road fixed! We want the road fixed!
Every road to be built in this country has to be built by the government. Every school, every health center, every this, every that. Because in this country, for the last generation or two, we've grown up under government. Well, you better begin to be weaned off the government, because the government's shoulder cannot carry the burden anymore.
Anymore. We cannot tolerate the neglect by Minister Rohan Sinaran. We must stand up against poor governance. The resources of this country belong to every citizen.
Well, you better begin to be weaned off the government.
You know, the funny thing is, that was the one time Rowley told you all the truth, and you all listened to him and vote for him. He basically told you, I don't care about you all. All the resources, all the taxpayer dollars, all the consolidated fund, all the PSIP, me, Noel Garcia, my lawyer, A.A. Kwamena, Newman George, my boy, me and he so close with a chairwoman, that we gonna spend all your money, and you going to wean yourself off the government. So don't look for no grants, don't look for no COVID-19 support, don't look for no good roads and water. You'll pay more for your tea and tech bill, you'll pay more for gas in your car, you'll pay more for water rate. You wean yourself, don't expect no medicine in the hospital. Who the hell all you feel all is? The man told you all the truth. And y'all went, oh my, red jersey, and dip your finger. That is the one time the man didn't lie. Because he tell all you the money is not for all you. It's not for laptops, it's not for school. What Tim Gopising and Kamala build 106 school? Them stupid over them is box drain, patrol government. What them doing? Building access road for agriculture. What them doing? Building sports stadium and recreation ground? Nah. What them doing? Giving you money to go national team for all our athletes to prepare properly? Forget that. All you gonna take licks, we gonna tell all you go try. But what we need the money for my boys and them. Yes, it's 210 recusal in 5 years. All you wean all yourself off, because me and my small pin, me and my tight pants, the man pants get loose, like the man under stress, he lost weight, yes. Alrawi, your pants now fitting good, boy. Stress. You have a pure diet of stress. Yes, but the man tell all of that. The money's not for all you. Differently able grants for school, internet, Wi-Fi. What do they want? All the school feeding, cut that one. All you don't need food, all you could stay hungry. Wean yourself off, and you all went and vote for that. And from one dark cloud to another dark, dotish cloud. Vasan Bharat, you really serious? Now, let me read this total abject asininity by this clown called Vasan Bharat. Now, Clarence tell him he's a total goat and all the corruption that was in agriculture under the People's Partnership when Vasant, was Minister of Agriculture, he can't even answer Clarence like he afraid Clarence. Clarence get licks all over the country. They can't even find a seat where Clarence could win. Clarence is a total, complete dunce and a goat. They cut his budget, they treat him with disrespect. He get a dead man seat and they put him there to dead. Clarence could only go by bullet and play games and play friend to try and line with Rowley and Farris. And Clarence call you, Vasant, a total clown. And you defend yourself, but you come here, listen to Vasant Bharat. This is a man who would like to be prime minister on the backs of the United National Congress warriors and the people. This is the man. For those contending that the president had no discretion to exercise in returning the recalled merit list, what if the T roster, the Police Service Commission, was sent to the President's house by mistake? Would the president have been obliged to send this to Parliament for debate, asking for a friend? Now, you and your friend Rowley deserve to be in St. Anne's. That is the most idiotic, dotish, stupid. It's not even funny. Number one, a T roster is not a Police Service Commission list, merit list. And a T roster does not need to be approved by the entire Police Service Commission. And if a T roster was given, that is not a constitutional duty of the Police Service Commission and is not engaged in Section 123(4). You total dunce clown. Now, to get into the real point, for those contending that the president had no discretion, it's not for those contending, Vasant. You see, I even thought you used to be book bright, but like you are just a complete dunce. Section 123(4) states, the president shall, on receipt of the Police Service Commission merit list, shall notify Parliament. The word shall, for those who are not too bright like you, Vasant, means duty, duty-bound, mandatory, must. That's the entire issue here. So it's not about contention. It's about pure, simple English. It's about the law. It's about tested law that has been tested in the courts in the Commonwealth jurisdiction for decades. Vasant, you dumb clown. And you want to lead who? You're asking for a friend? Go online with your friend in Balize house. You want to come here and play with who? Lead who? Talk who? Vasant, go and scratch now. Your bow tie too tight. It's cutting off the oxygen to your brain. The entire issue. And if you want to attack, go and attack Ramesh Lawrence Mirage. Go on, Martin Daly, Israel Khan, Larry Lala, who supported you. Larry Lala and all must be saying, oh God, Vasant, you let me down, boy. Oh Lord, right now Larry Lala watching you and saying, oh good, I really support that dance, boy. Yes, what happened with the T roster? The president on receipt had no discretion whatsoever. Nobody's contending that. That is settled law. That is settled English. That is settled in the Constitution, Section 123(4), that once it arrived, she had no discretion to let anybody come and take it back. And furthermore, Bliss C. Prasad had no authority so to do to take back any list that was approved by the majority of the Police Service Commission. So you keep playing games because Kamala beat you 3 times. You can't call you a second pan. The amount of licks you get is more than second pan. It's third pan you is. You is just like a bubbly on Good Friday, but Good Friday by you does come every Friday. The amount of licks Kamala beat you with. She beat you till your head gone. Go and eat your bus-up shot and paratha with your knife and fork, Vasant, your clown. Move that clown now. Ministry. Fewer achieve passing grades in CSEC and CAPE. And this just passing. Just so, you know. No big thing, you know. Under the PNM, for the last 6 years. Every year our children have been doing worse. Every year in every level across the Caribbean, we used to reign supreme. Now we're getting supreme ice cream cocktail. This is less than 50% of the pupils who attempted 5 or more subjects. Now remember, I read for your last show that 11.6% of the students didn't even show up. So you're starting off at a total of 89%. Okay? And of that 89%, that diminished number, 50% of the pupils who attempted 5 or more subjects in 2021 Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate, CSEC, achieved passing grades, a notable decrease from last year. Less than 50%. Do you understand what I'm saying? Minister of Bundles, Minister of Rowley, Minister take away scholarship to tell them come and lick K-Pax in Balize House to get bursary. The PNM produces mediocrity, promotes mediocrity, and mediocrity is transcending our society at every level. Whether it is sport, culture, arts, come down the road. Mediocrity, those who get away from Trinidad and Tobago, they have a chance. Like Nicholas Paul, who had to live outside, train outside, foreign coach, foreign food, foreign talk, foreign track, everything outside, then he going good. Anything inside is licks. Whether it's football, we get out lick out by Bahamas. Cricket, no cricket. Netball, we go through from proud world champions. All you're setting up we girls to get blown out in the Caribbean by 50 goals. There has also been a decrease in the percentage of pupils who achieve passing grades in the Cape also. So not only CSEC, Cape, and this is the PNM. This is the PNM policy. This is the PNM ministry. This is the PNM plan. This is the PNM progress. And all you vote for that. Think about it. You vote UNC, the graph on education going so. Not only in resources, because of respect for teacher, respect, teacher hours, more schools, better conditions, better opportunities, more food, laptops, textbooks, gate, opportunities, advancement, science and tertiary, moving up, and then in comes email gate, liar, PNM, and some of y'all vote for that. Elections have consequences. Young. Stuart Young confessed. Here's Stuart Young. Strong negotiations will lead to an NGC windfall in the future. Now follow what Stuart Smallpin Young saying, you know. Strong negotiations will lead to a windfall. Therefore it follows that weak negotiations led to losses. And the weak negotiations occurred with Stuart Smallpin Young and Rowley in Houston in 2017, which led to NGC making a loss for the first time in history, 2 years straight, after the profits reduced from 1.8 billion US down to 300,000 US. Then it went into the minus in billions of TT dollars. So now he knows. Now the great negotiator, the Smallpin dunce, the clown, now knows strong negotiation will lead to NGC windfall. Let me tell all you something else. If you all are not paying attention internationally, the price of oil and natural gas is going up. Now some of y'all might think, oh good, yes, that's great. Trinidad and Tobago, it's going to be good for us. No, hold your strain. That government all they elected, nothing has trickled down. So it's going to be good for them and their recusal. So instead of 210 recusals, they may go and take 400 recusal. And the friend and family and financier and Noel Garcia spending all your money, that will happen there. Nothing may trickle down to you and it ain't go start now all you feel. Them go just turn Santa Claus just so. Number one. Number two, I removed your gas subsidy once. I came back again and I removed it again. I came back a third time and I removed it. I may have to come back in April and remove it again. I will have to liberalize that. I haven't rioted yet. You have no more gas subsidy. Wean yourself off the government. Because the government has no time to carry you. You have to carry Al-Rawi rent. You have to carry Franklin Khan wife rent. You have to make sure the Alsing wife company that she working for getting contract. You have to make sure Stuart Young brother getting thing to loan and interest rate. You have to make sure Richard Young getting the 15 million per year at IFC. You have to make sure that A.A. Comena and Newman George getting through. You have to make sure that Noel Garcia have money to spend. You have to make sure about that, not all you. Well, let me tell all you something. That higher gas price that you're seeing globally, multiply your gas bill in your car now, not cooking gas, you know. If you spend $800 a month on gas to drive X amount of miles, by December, January, you're going to have to spend $2,000 to drive the same exact X. And then by next year, August, when they say it could reach somewhere approaching $200 a barrel, you going to park up your car, all middle class and down. How you going to drive when you cannot get gas in your car? You all think elections don't have consequences. Kamala say leave the people subsidy. That belongs to the people. That the people own. All you don't come and tell me about that. That is the best distribution of resources to the people. That's what Kamala say. All you say, all they don't like she dress. All they don't like she shoes. She blouse her match, she skirt. Well, all right. You go and pay $10,000 more per gas per year because Rowley, that bald-head Oreo in office. Y'all pay for him to get pum-pum and buy more honey goat to eat. Go ahead, celebrate. Yes, man. $1 million lawsuit claiming medical negligence. Daily Express, Friday, 22nd October, page 18. The daughter of a woman who died. And listen to this, convent girl, you big dunce who cannot even pass a pharmacological exam, but talking about number one in the world. Let me hear number one in the world. The daughter of a woman who died after being admitted to hospital following an asthma attack. Hey, Senator Vera, asthma attack. You listen and pay very close attention. You are offended by what? People saying what? I go deal with you just now. Well, I am very offended at you. You scumbucket, when you attack me and tell me that I lying about asthma. Me, who born with asthma, fight asthma all my life, nearly end up in hospital dead 3 times. All my 3 children have asthma. Had to walk around with my medication, my preventative, all kind of thing. You gone in on Hansard in the Senate to attack me because I am a UNC senator and say that I feign in asthma. You despicable human being, Senator Vera, and you don't even have the balls to apologize. You're walking around the Senate, you cannot even come face to face and say, Anil, I am sorry, you are a low-class human being, Senator Vera. You are a total child, an immature clown, and you attack another human being without evidence, and you don't have the balls to apologize, you lowly clown. The daughter of a woman who died after being admitted to hospital following an asthma attack has filed a $1 million lawsuit against the North Central Regional Health Authority, claiming medical negligence. The woman said their mother, Joy Balbos, 44, was taken to the Arima Health Center on September 13, 2018, as she was experiencing an asthma attack. They realized that her oxygen tube was accidentally disconnected. So they put the tube, asthma. Somehow it got disconnected. And nobody in Davlin Thomas and Convent Hospital and Health Center noticed that an asthma patient tube had come out. The equipment actually had to be malfunctioning because I have been on asthma tube and ventilator. And if anything happened to that, an alarm immediately goes off in good functioning equipment. An alarm so loud that nurses who are busy doing something else will hear it. This had gone unnoticed by those working in the department for an unknown period. And when the discovery was made, the medical staff attempted to revive Balbos. They were able to do so on 2 occasions, but the length of time the oxygen tube had been disconnected, resulting in a lack of constant oxygen supply to her brain, leading to brain damage. She passed away on September 16th. It was said that a doctor told them a catastrophic error was made by the hospital, and they should speak to a hospital's quality division. The family was offered $20,000 by the NCRHA some time ago. Well done, the Alsing. That's really brilliant, respectful. That's amazing. We're in good hands with you, the Alsing. Brian Manning tells the nation, fear no evil. Brian Manning? When I read that, I say, yes. Finally, Manning standing up to Rowley. I say, yes, Manning. So I went to read, boy, what Brian Manning? He said, as my late father would say, yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. That would be his advice, and that would be my advice to you. Well, let me tell you something, Brian Manning. You really have no shame. Because the greatest evil on this earth, and the greatest evil to you and your family, is the man who you bow down to and lick his bottom every day. A man who claimed to put opium evil spirit lash on your own father, and you standing up there with that man sitting down at the table, bowing down to him to get a position in cabinet and telling us to fear no evil. Let me remind you what Keith Christopher Rowley said when your beloved father, and don't tell we not to talk about your father, you fasten out a place. Your father was the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So therefore he's the people, he's a public figure, and all of us could talk about him because he was a Prime Minister of class, and you are a disgrace. You are hugging the evil that spoke about your father. What kind of man are you, boy? What kind of job? What a man could want so much? You believe that anybody put and boast about putting spirit lash on my father? I go in straight Golden Grove, Brian Manning. I go in Golden Grove and sit down in the jail with the 43 men in one cell, and I go in and take a poop in the bucket right there. Put spirit lash on my father? You gone and hugging up a man like you forget. Let me remind you what Keith Christopher Rowley said about your father, Brian Manning. Run it, Archie.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calderhart and Utica. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it.
Hey, Brian Manning. Yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. Yeah, Brian Manning. You are the lowest scum of the earth. If my children love me so little to want to walk, to go and hug up and respect and bow down to a man who boasted about putting spirit lash on me and celebrated my illness, I want no part of my children like that. Then they have nothing from me. They have learned absolutely nothing. You have no shame, Brian Manning. Bow your head in shame, boy. What could be so much more important than your father, from whose loins you emanate? Well, I don't even know, because you don't look nothing like he. Patrick was a good-looking dude. And his is beautiful. So me, I know where your ugly tail come out from. But clearly, couldn't be. You talking about people about what's evil? UNC evil? Not one member of the UNC ever wished any illness on your father. In fact, the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, all the MPs, I was a minister, all the partnership, the COP, the MSJ, the NJAC, the TOP, all prayed for your father to get well. You are talking about evil? When the man you sit down by, bowing down to, licking his bamsi, he was the man who boasted that he made your father sick. Brian Manning, shame on you. He continued, Today, my friends, I call upon you to fear no evil. This week, we have seen clearly the evidence that there are people who want to make our country ungovernable. Really? The United National Congress have a serious issue with the president not adhering to section 123(4) of the Constitution, which is clear that the president shall deliver the list and notify Parliament. End of story. All the emotion, all the woman, all the this, all the politics, forget that. That's the issue. The list based on the president's own statement arrived on August 11th. Therefore, no one could have come and taken it. Once it arrived there, its next destination is to be the Parliament. End of story. End of emotion, end of muting mic, end of disgrace, end of all of that talk. That's the issue. You are talking about that. Our statement of fact, reading the Constitution as being, trying to make this country ungovernable, yet you uphold and praise this man, actually, remind him of the clown that he is supporting. Run it.
But because of the responsibility I have accepted, my job is to annoy the Prime Minister. In our country, when in this difficult period we are required to buckle down, how nice would it have been if we could have counted on the opposition to fix some of the problems that we know need fixing? But we cannot count on the opposition for a vote on anything in the Parliament. We will not cooperate with the government of Trinidad and Tobago on any matter. They are supporting nothing. We will not cooperate with the government of Trinidad and Tobago on any matter. On any matter. We will isolate them for as long as they're in office until they leave office.
And of course he lied. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, United National Congress and the lower house and upper house have supported anything that makes sense, that is good law, pepper spray law and different laws that pass. What we will not do is support the thwarting of the Constitution and the oppression of the people and the war on the people that has been portrayed, perpetuated, and has been accelerated on the necks of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. No procurement legislation gutting. You want us to support that? Legalize thieving? You had the people be sitting down behind me to support that. Legalize thieving, and they're voting for it. Revenue Authority for the Minister of Finance to appoint a board, to appoint a Director General, to appoint all Directors General, and just one just Deputy Director Enforcement coming from the Public Service, but he have to take instruction from the Director General who's a PNM. Look, all you go and scratch it. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the UNC support any good law. The problem is, the PNM has the most dunce, dotish Attorney General in the history of the country, and Caribbean and the Commonwealth. So it's not often that they bring good law. Anything he brings is poorly drafted. He is the most reviewed Attorney General in the Commonwealth, losing 30 out of 30 cases at one time. As we talk about that, Rowley dismisses Law Association. Now, Law Association, you made a comment, yes, this on this sub judice thing, I agree with you and so on. But where is your comment on section 123(4) of the Constitution with regards to the president admitting that the list arrived at her office on August 11th? What should take place there? Law Association, I'm waiting for that. The country needs guidance. The issue is getting all wrapped up in all sorts of emotion. It's about section 123(4). All of you all go to your Constitution and read it. The president had no discretion. She had no choice. But once the list reached there, duly signed and approved by the majority of the Police Service Commission, she had no choice. Her duty, she was duty bound to proceed to notify the Parliament. End of story. Simple. She did not. Therefore, she breached the Constitution. Resign. No emotion, no woman issue, no gender-based issue, no black Indian issue, no mamagism issue. Right? That's the issue. There are other subsidiary issues, but that's the main issue. Dr. Rowley declared he is not minded to take advice from the Law Association, while Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, as titular head of the bar, said the association's commentary lacked balance. Rowley called on the audience to show by raise of hands if they knew that this. So on top of the law association telling Rowley, hey, slow your roll, thing is sub judice, have some discipline, pay attention, do not breach the sub judice law. Why are you giving comment on something that is before a judge that is highly irregular, highly indisciplined, disgraceful, and terrible? I'm not hearing any media on that. Rowley, on being instructed at tell the law association, hold in, Shan. And he doubled down. And he went on. I would not even repeat what he said because I don't want to get involved with anything that is sub judice. It was so disgusting. And then you don't want to protect the secrecy of the... Then he come to bring back in the secrecy of the office of the president, and you don't want to protect the secrecy of the conversation of the president and the prime minister. Excuse me? What secrecy? There is no secrecy. The country wants to know why you went by president's house and why you went there on the exact day and time that caused interference in a particular institution that is supposed to be independent on the appointment of a commissioner of police. The fact of the matter is that you admitted, Rowley, that you don't want Gary. And now we don't have Gary. Therefore, you have interfered, you have influenced, you have misbehaved in public office. That it's simple. By your own words. What you talking about? They have no evidence and they have no that. Your word, you so doubted, you just confess. You and Alrawi, two dunce, one leading, the next one, both all your butting head on the same wall. The secrecy of the discussion with the prime minister. The prime minister is not to discuss with the president anything to do with the police commissioner or police service commission, and the president asking me question and the country question. Anybody who is to investigate has to be duly recognized by the Constitution as having that authority. The PCA, the DPP, the Bureau of Standards. You can take those reports and furnish it, or let them furnish it to the Police Service Commission. But a prime minister who has an axe to grind against a certain individual, shoo-shooing in your ear, cannot be considered constitutional. And then here, Alrawi now. When you hear Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, day and night. When you hear Senator Anil Roberts, day and night. I thought you don't watch douglAR politics. I thought somebody tell you what Anil say. Your tight pants, makeup wearing clown Alrawi, you a la rental, a la bray like a donkey, a la go dress up nice, looking good in the mirror to go in a room with 13 man and bray like a donkey and dribble in the airs. You don't watch douglAR politics, but you're talking, you hear Anil every night. You better share the live, boy, Alrawi. You Porsche renter. When you hear Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, day and night, and when you hear Senator Anil Roberts, day and night, and when you hear Senator Jayanti Lachinde, oh God, you really? You vex Jayanti brighter than your hair, boy? It's hot in you to be a dancer. It's hot in you to be dotish, and that the whole country knows you're a dunce. You spend so long in law school, people come after you and leave before you, and still nothing diffusing to you. You stay long and play wrong. Lord, some people just don't have it. You don't, son. But you're a good renter. And now, talking about a fella named Vincent Nelson QC and going into commentary in relation to whether there's an indemnity by the state. By the state? Listen, don't play state. You are the Attorney General who has power over civil proceedings. You have no power or authority to get involved in criminal matters. So you negotiating with a witness in a criminal case, that's for the courts to decide. That's for the DPP to decide. So you slow your roll there. That's why you're losing weight. Hey, your pants shaking now. Hey, your testicles breathing. You don't have to jump up and down like a clown in the parliament when you're lying on camera and apologizing and lying 3 times. Alrawi, I never see a man like you need a bush bad boy. You better go by Rowley and tell him, boy, take me Lekoto and give me some reverse bush bat. They should beat you backwards with blue soap and a palm leaf. No bail for Trinis. One thing, we had negative 439 US foreign direct investment. Balance of payments uneven. We importing more than we exporting. No foreign exchange, no petrotrin, no production. We are just parasites on the global market. But one thing we do in Archie, we exporting bandit now. Run it. Look at this. I so shame. I so shame. And the article say 5 trainees arrested with all due respect. That would be the normal case. It normally would be trainees because we, Tobagonian, normally have more discipline, more community, more spirituality than we trainees. We trainees went wild long time. But it's not. It's 5 Tobagonians. And that shows how deep the depth of despair and poor leadership in this country. That Tobago now has become like Trinidad under Keith Rowley. That Tobagonian young boys have taken off to go to a neighboring country to rob a bank. They didn't even try to rob a local bank because they realized it had no money down here. Them gone from Tobago, leave their mother house to go in Grenada and get whole. That is the PNM. That is the legacy of Rowley. And Rowley said his navel string bury in Tobago. Rowley has brought the darkest times or the most disrespect to Tobago in the history of the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley has decimated Tobago, treated and trampled Tobago, not only brought sickness and illness, COVID-19 to Tobago. He shattered the economy, shattered the jobs, tried to instruct the EBC so that he could Rowley manda an election and steal an election. And this is what he has left. A legacy of degradation. Even the character of the young people in Tobago that is normally of the highest order. One thing you could always say, Tobagonian young people have respect. Good morning, good evening, that, and all gone through under Rowley. But December 6th, they will deal with you, Rowley. Your disgrace. A shame, move that now, boy. And Grenada, sorry, Grenada. Oh, Lord. Hey! Let me bring back that, yes? I throw down that before I see this man, Senator Vera, says he's so offended by the statement that he intends to bring a motion of contempt against the members of the opposition who make that charge. A shameful fish market, say some of these senators. Well, I already told you, Mr. Man. Who's this? Is that Senator Vera? Who's that you're shaking and smiling and grinning with? Oh, the PNM Minister of Works and Transport. Is that you, independent Senator Vera? You sure you're offended? Well, let me tell you something. I am still very offended at your distasteful, disrespectful, disingenuous, disgusting attack on my character and my name on Hansard by stating that you read some Committee of Privilege report and you thought I was feigning and faking asthma in order to miss a Committee of Privileges with a set of PNM. You disgusting human being. You sick fellow. So I am offended. And you have not apologized. You refuse to apologize. You are less than a man. And you are now coming to talk on an issue that is about the infiltration of independent institutions by political elements. You are taking offense at what? What's this you're doing here? Please explain that before you feign like you are some bastion of moral rectitude and integrity. Catch yourself, son. And just to let you know, Senator Vera, learned attorney Kyle Takral Singh heard what you said, read what you said, and has something to tell you. So, attorney Kyle Takral Singh, Archie, run it there for me, please.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree with the comments made by Senator Vera in his article about what is bias, what is the law underpinning a bias application, and his argument with respect to why there was no conflict of interest. First of all, the law has always recognized that there are two forms of bias. There's a form of bias where, yes, if you benefit from a decision, then you ought not to take that decision or participate in taking that decision. That is called actual bias. But the law also recognizes something called apparent bias, where you may not gain anything, but the public, or what you call the fair-minded and informed observer, may come to the conclusion that there is a real possibility of bias because of circumstances, because of who you are, because you may be married to somebody, because somebody may be your sister, because somebody may be your brother, and therefore there is an assumption that your decision would be slanted in their favor. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. That is the cardinal principle. So I have to disagree respectfully with Senator Vera. I think he needs to update his knowledge on bias and the law of bias and the law of recusal.
To my brother Senator Paul Richards, because you said you came out and said it was a fish market. I don't know what's wrong with a fish market. I'm a fisherman, and fishermen work very hard and go to the fish market where there are hard-working people selling and feeding the nation with high protein, high quality food. So I don't know what you meant by fish market in a derogatory way. But Senator Paul Richards, are you still working at Power 102 Boom Champions, Radio Vision Limited? How much income monthly from government advertisements do these two radio stations take in? And do you think that this government revenue enables you to be a successful CEO at Radio Vision? Just ask you that question now, because independent senator, depending on your job, your check, depending on government financial support through advertisements. How you feel about that based on that second definition of apparent bias by the reasonable person, Senator Richards? Anytime you want to debate with me, you can just respectfully do so. Now, and also Senator Vera, for you to compare yourself as an independent senator with a UNC Senator Jayanti Lakshmidhyal shows that either you need a blue tablet from St. Anne's or you have lost, you're totally lost. This lady here is a UNC senator. She has a UNC position. The UNC position taken by the UNC political leader and the NATEX caucus is what she espouses, both in the court and in the parliament. They are one and the same. They don't run contrary. She is entitled to take a position. She does not have to be independent. For you to compare yourself with an UNC senator, it shows how lost you are, because you shook so much PNM hand, you get confused. So, sir, I wonder if you got your law degree the same place Al Rawi got his. Huh? Tell me that now. I'm confused. Now I leave this topic with a question now. Okay, I'm just going to leave it here with a question. Because the learned senators were saying that some senators said, they sing for the supper. Let me ask the country this question. Carefully. Can someone sing for their supper if there is no supper? Can someone sing for their supper if there is no supper? And I think when you answer that question, you will see where the problems lie in independent institution in Trinidad and Tobago, because the PNM has provided supper all around. So somebody may have to sing. And when they're singing, they may want to sing Bob Marley's great hit, Who the Cap Fit. Let them wear it. The entire problem facing our democracy right now, ladies and gentlemen, with this situation, this imbroglio, this constitutional crisis, which came about because Keith Christopher Rowley, the Prime Minister, lost confidence in Double G. He did not want Double G. He wanted to ensure that Double G did not get a new contract to be Commissioner of Police. He then went about interfering, interfacing, and forcing other independent office holders to act contrary to the Constitution. That's it in a nutshell. All of this lands squarely on the chest of the immoral, unethical teacher who got pum-pum from a girl of school age way back in '69. It lands on his chest, in his drawers, Okay? And that's why our country is in the darkest times that we have now. And the actual problem is that the problem facing our democracy can be summed up as follows. The infiltration of independent institutions by secret politicians. You see, if you want to be in politics, you see me, I'm in politics. I'm a UNC. I'm a supporter of Kamla Persad Bisesa. If you all want to be in politics, come out like that. Don't sit down quietly, subconsciously, quietly, like Helen Drayton. Bad talk an entire government, and every time as an independent senator. And when that government loses, jump out and get benefits of chairman of the board of CNMG, now chairman of NIB. Don't do that. Don't be so immoral and unethical. That's why we're in this problem. Or former independent Senator Small, who's now on Nikwan, but God don't sleep. Karma, boy. Yeah? You get it by nefarious ways and it all blow up in your face. Not a cent. Well done. It good. 322 new COVID-19 cases, 4 new deaths yesterday, 260 something cases today, and 4 more deaths. And all in state of emergency, and we're #1 in the world. Some of y'all dip your finger for those dances. Sorry for y'all. Now, I mentioned to y'all a while ago that the vice president newly elected of MAT, that MAT had somehow tainted itself by putting Asha PNM Javid, lover of PNM ministers, cohabiter with PNM ministers, co-parenting with PNM ministers for the last 15 years. So much so that the Express moved her from being their lead investigative journalist after she investigated and printed front page lies on Kamla Persad Bisesa's government, including myself. Lie after lie after lie. Asha PNM Javid, who is love-up Attorney General, former Attorney General John Jeremy, make child, and then leave he or cohabiting and sacking sack out with small pin. And y'all find that was correct, Express. And when I bust it on 102, you just slip and move she to business, Express. But Matt come and put she as vice president of the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And I said a while ago, well, what is Matt becoming now? A PNM group? Well, it appears so. Actually, let's go with the image of the president of MAT first, Ira Matur. Ira Matur is the president of MAT, Media Association. This is association of journalists. And she says, unspeakably awful to cast aspersions on a woman holding the highest office in the land. Now, Ira Matur, not only is that a total political, partisan, ridiculous, uneducated, dotish, asinine statement, because, let me repeat for you, because when the Balize stick break in your ears, you don't hear. The issue is section 123(4) of the Constitution. Go and read it. Whether it's a male, female, mixed gender, change gender, whoever is the president is irrelevant. Section 123(4) is the issue. And the section 123(4) says, on receipt of the merit list, the president shall notify Parliament. End of story. The president did not notify by her own admissions. That's the issue. For you to come here with this nonsense as the head of MAT, to put that opaquely idiotic, asinine, non-factual position out for the world to see, as the president of the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago, which is basically the PNM position, you have politicized your already politicized organization, which now has zero credibility. And then this person you're replying to, Keyshawn Haynes, I think he advertises himself as, I wouldn't go there yet, but he advertises himself as a journalist. Now, so what I'm saying to y'all is, I made the position, or I pointed out to y'all about a month ago, that what is MAT doing? MAT is going to become a PNM party group. And then we see now this president here, and then we had this video. Listen to this. and listen carefully to what is going on here at the PNM press conference on COVID-19. Run it, Archie.
Thank you very much. We go back to our media representatives. TV6, we are ready for your questions.
Hi, good morning. Is it that Matt gets preference for questions and they get to pose questions to you guys? Because we've been waiting here for a little while.
Certainly
Good morning.
not Overshi. These questions would have come in from Matt, and we are facilitating. Of course, these are members of Matt like yourself, and so these questions would have come in from them. Thank you very much. We're ready for your question.
I am present in the meeting. Thank you. Of
And we're
course,
ready
I'm
to
present.
facilitate your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
So pay attention to what took place. Uvashi is there, and she has been an independent. Now, I don't even want to say nothing because I don't want to make you all feel that she on anybody's side. She has been asking some critical questions on behalf of the population throughout this COVID-19, okay? And our position on the United National Congress is we need journalists that if we in charge, ask the questions, do the research, get down to the truth. No problem. We have no problem with that. And Rowley had no problem with that while he was lying on camera. But now he wants secrecy, right? But look what happened there. Now understand this clearly. Urvashi and others are there in the meeting, meaning they are live. But yet, Matt, Ira Matur PNM, right? Her PNM position there, you saw it. Asha Javid, Vice President, PNM. They send questions to the COVID-19 PNM crew, and the COVID-19 PNM crew make sure that Matt's questions get answered first before those who are actually there. Does that sound correct? Or does it all fit in like the perfect PNM puzzle? And you understand why I'm wearing black now? Because your democracy is dead. And they're nailing coffins in it, nails in the coffin one by one, including the media. Now, Matt, Ira Matur, you should resign. You know why? I don't understand all the human beings. Why are you all such cowards? If you want to be PNM, God bless you, be a PNM. Go and support and defend Rowley when he talks about women in any way, about grooming them, pastures, about victim blaming for domestic violence, when he rules with pum-pum governance and tell you wean yourself off and every institution mash up, you defend that. But go like a PNM, like Rhoda Barrett. At least I have respect for Rhoda Barrett. She's a PNM. She's not pretending to be independent and then taking a PNM position right through. There is nothing more corrupt than feigning independence when you know in your heart you're a PNM. That is corrupt to the core. So Ira Matur, you should resign and leave the People Media Association and take Asha Javid with you. And while you're going, Mr. Keishan Haynes. Now, I had to double check. And I think Archie, I checked his LinkedIn. I wanted to know, because there are different types of media personalities, right? You can be a commentator. You can have an opinion. You could be a declared supporter of a philosophical position. But when you define yourself as a journalist, then you're held to a different standard. So I went to check to make sure. Experienced deputy head of news, journalist, with a demonstrated history of working in the broadcast media industry, from anchor to on-air reporter, journalist, producer, skilled in journalism. Okay, so that's your profile. You're a journalist, Keishan Haynes. I don't have to tell you the tenets of journalism. You're fact finder. You're independent. You just get down to the truth. You don't quote your thing. You see me? Don't compare to me. I'm not no journalist. I'm a UNC commentator. Okay? Total difference. But you are journalist. News, hard news, facts, information, impartial. Stay away from opinion. Stay away from nuance and manufacture and concoctions. Because journalism is a very serious profession. And the way you put it there, That's how you are described on your LinkedIn profile. So how you explain these two things coming up? Put up his image first there. So Kijan Haynes, journalist, please explain to me, right? His tweet, and you have it, black, like just like the Ira Matur one, black background with a little writing Archie, right? Basically, he put up something, if Archie doesn't get it, to say that in the parliament was disgraceful and the behavior of the opposition was disgraceful and we brought democracy, we killed democracy. Okay, that sounds like a partisan position, Kijan Haynes, because even the newspapers, even the editorials, while they were saying that we interrupted the speaker and so on, they stated categorically. And a lawyer, Dave Posad, has come out today and says that the speaker could be brought before the courts. But the editorials in the newspapers said, and I quote, that the area regarding debate was a gray area, right? No, not that, wrong one, forget that, Archie. You took too long anyway, but don't worry. Get the video, get ready, the one that he did now, right, the TikTok, get that ready for me. So Kijan Haynes, you spoke about it being disgraceful. But in a journalistic sense, do you not find that a prime minister, the leader of the executive, separation of powers, rule of law, that a prime minister admitting that he lost confidence in a human being and then he took actions to ensure that that human being will not get a job that is supposed to be purely independent and is supposed to be so independent that it's supposed to actually have the power to lock up the said prime minister. And the prime minister admits to interfering. The entire police service commission had to resign and collapse. And the president admitted to breaching section 123(4) of the Constitution. And then the PNM selected speaker decides that on a motion, and motion, you would know as a journalist, means debate, makes guidelines that are anti-democratic and thwarts the parliament where we are there to parley, shuts down the debate, and then the speaker sits there and keeps her finger on the mic because in the system in the parliament, once the speaker or the president of the Senate are speaking on their feet and their mic is on, all other mics are shut off. So by the speaker keeping her finger continuously, constantly on her button and her red light being on, she thwarted democracy, thwarted free speech, kept the public from hearing clearly the arguments by me that were being made. And you as a journalist find that behavior, all of that between the Prime Minister, the President, the Police Service Commission Chair, the breaching of the Constitution, the Speaker, the lack of debate, you find all of that A-OK. And us in the UNC, we fighting to be heard and trying to get a debate to get down to the information. You find that disgusting. Okay, but you're a journalist. So explain this one to me, Kijan Haynes. How could you, as a journalist, take a serious press conference given by a former prime minister, the leader of the opposition, the leader of the second largest party in Trinidad and Tobago, a former attorney general, a former minister of education? How could you as a journalist, Kijan Haynes, take Kamala Persad-Bissessa's very serious, very important, very pertinent, very well delivered, very factual press conference and turn it into a disrespectful, nasty, disgusting attack on a very senior politician and former prime minister? How could you do that, Kijan Haynes? And for some of you who did not know, look what this clown went to do and make fun and ridicule and disrespect a woman who's a former prime minister. Look at this clown. Play it.
When you ask her if she's enjoying the day,
Coming. It's coming. You know, it's always said it's not about the length, It's about the substance of the motion.
Haynes, as you saw Keyshawn Haynes, run it again and show what this journalist, self-described journalist, not comedian, not Tommy Joseph, not sprung along, this journalist, this news anchor, this bastion of independent journalistic principles, look what he did to a prime minister and leader of the opposition, a grandmother, a lady of serious class and respect, married 50 years. Look what this clown went to create, and look and see his name, because he produced it. His name is all stamped over it. This clown called Keyshawn's journalist Haynes. Run it.
When you ask her if she's enjoying the D,
Coming. It's coming. You know, it's always said it's not about the length, it's about the substance of the motion.
And that's your joke, Keyshawn Haynes? That's funny joke. As a journalist, you really think that's proper? Well, good. Be your journalist for your part for Balize House. Congratulations. I wish you the best, because I can assure you, after this evening, not one right-thinking human being in Trinidad and Tobago will ever take you seriously again. So you better go into comedy, no problem. You think that was brilliant? That was disgusting, sir. That was absolutely inappropriate, an attack on females that was misogynistic, disgusting, nasty, disrespectful, untowards, and it's a shame that you call yourself a journalist. Now, if you're a comedian, all right, good one. Move him now, move that clown, pink shirt. Malcolm X warned us more than 50 years ago. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. The press is so powerful in its image-making role. It can make the criminal look like, and the victim, make the victim look like he's guilty. Make the criminal look like he's innocent, and the victim, make the victim look like he's guilty. And let me just tell Ira Matur something. Not only is Kamala all the accolades that she has as a woman, as a strong, independent woman, who has taken on some of the most powerful men in this nation and won. Not only has she held the highest offices of this land and done so brilliantly. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, every time she spoke, if you could find out, she put back up Ira Matur's ridiculous tweet there to Keyshawn, the comedian, right, at these journalists in Trinidad and Tobago. And they want the citizens to take them seriously as journalists. Like that's what we will see on CNN and BBC, right? Unspeakably awful to cast aspersions on a woman holding the highest office in the land. If you're a journalist, Ira Matur, you had heard at every juncture, on every opportunity, Kamala Prasad Bisesa said, and I quote, "I have the utmost respect for Her Excellency the President, not only as the President, but as a former Court of Appeal judge, a brilliant attorney, and a brilliant educated National Scholarship winner." Kamala Prasad Bisesa says that ad nauseum, and then goes to deal with the issue at hand, Section 123(4) of the Constitution. So for you to put up that, and to take Rowley, the misogynistic view, Rowley turned feminist, I didn't see you wage anything when he talked about Kamala in geometry, or when they put a lady in a yellow sari and red gorillas raping her and pulling it off. I didn't see you tweet when Rowley said that women are pasture and the golf course a pasture and he don't choose your man. Huh? I didn't hear you talk anything about Rowley as a teacher back in 1969, impregnating a girl of school age and ignoring the child, outside child, for 44 years, Garter Lane. I didn't hear you say anything like that. I didn't hear you say anything when Keith Christopher Rowley runs roughshod over his cabinet and fornicates with junior ministers' wives. I didn't hear you say that. And now one of them just go on Saturday and get married to the Horner woman because he's so depressed. Darrell Smith, how you going, my brother? Bless. Move on. I hope you leave the PNM and Rowley. Leave Rowley with that next one that he take from you. I didn't hear all of that. You come to attack Kamala Prasad Bisasa as the head of MAT. Iramatur, shame on you. Journalism is dead in Trinidad and Tobago. You all are sick. If you all want to be politicians, join the Balize House. Run for a seat. Don't stay in independent institutions and run our democracy to the ground by writing with your poison pen. That is corrupt. It's disgusting. You want to back PNM? Go in PNM. Put on the Balize. Do your next show. Run for a seat. And to the Honorable Speaker, you talk so much, you mute we. But like you didn't have your breakfasts, eh? Because you what? Archie, what she say there? Correspondences. Play the speaker now. She didn't have blue hair. She had some other way. Run it there for me.
Play the victim. You saw one of them accusing the speaker of keeping her hand on some button that shuts off the system. Now somebody outside hearing that would believe it.
No, wrong one. It's a funny looking one that looked like it filmed on a camera phone filming the TV. A short one. It's only about, what, 9 seconds or so. Tell me if you're getting it. If not, we go on to that. That one you put there was more serious thing. You have it? All right. But anyway, Archie and them are so hot today. But, Madam Speaker, correspondence, there's no plural called correspondences, eh? On the Hansard, correspondences. You went and eat your breakfasts before you went to the parliament. So the media says, disgrace, Kamala's impeachment motion against the president, right? Total disorder. Nice. Check the news there. Judy Raymond, she like what Rowley leaders give the Kamala can't get. Oh yes, the speaker holds firm, calm under fire. Yes, praising the speaker, calm under fire. Okay, this is calm under fire news day. What if I show you that the speaker was doing the most dastardly act known to democracy as the speaker in the chair? If I can show you and prove to you that she was thwarting democracy by holding her finger down on the mic and keeping her mic on to cut off the opposition mics and to shut down all other mics, while pretending and feigning that she was listening, and then even concocting a stupid story about banging on the desk, interfering the mics. If I show you that now, what would you all say? Run that video now, Archie, run it.
Play the victim. You saw one of them accusing the speaker of keeping her hand on some button that shuts off the system. Now somebody outside hearing that would believe it. But we all know the electronics are very sensitive there. If you keep banging on your desk, you could loosen the connections.
Madam Clerk, please continue with
Madam Speaker, I am anxious to vote, but this matter must be dealt
Madam Chairman, these guidelines have been foisted upon us, and the manner in which the
Yes, a debt to democracy.
Madam Speaker, clearly there's a technical problem here that we should rectify. Vote in an ordinary, dignified manner. And Madam Speaker, your mic is spoken at the order, while nobody on the side seems to have their mic open.
Continue.
Madam Speaker, if you remove your finger from the button, the opposition mics will come on.
Yes.
Mrs. Roberts Regis.
Madam Speaker, is it that you are ruling that in spite of this conflict of interest and this close relationship, that the sister
Oh Lord, I turn off my mic. So sorry, Archie, I was talking there before. So let me repeat all. Let me repeat all what I just said. Archie, it take long to tell me my mic was off. But that's my fault. I buffed myself. Anil, you do stupidness. Now, you all saw it there. You saw when you heard Khadijah. When you heard Khadijah clearly, the speaker's hand was back and not pressing, and the light on her mic was off. When you heard Khadijah or anybody else, they went soft, her finger was pressing the button, and you could see the red ring light around the top of the microphone, which meant it was on. The system in the Parliament and the Senate is that when the President of the Senate or the Speaker is on their feet and their mic is on, all other mics are off. So by the Speaker pressing her mic continuously, it was abject, disgusting behavior to mute the message being told, the arguments from you, the people. She stopped you from hearing. So if you were in the chamber, because of the acoustics, you could hear. If it's my mouth, you might hear me through her mic, because I have a big mouth. But even the Hansard, when we saw the Hansard today, and I will get it full tomorrow, a lot of it is called put inaudible, which has affected the record for the entire history of our country, has been put on mute by the Speaker. And the Newsday is celebrating that. Just to show you all, I will go in closer to show you what she did. And that woman kept her finger on that mic nearly for 48 straight minutes, just taking a little pause in between. On top of that, she even offered a ridiculous suggestion that the pounding on the desks and the table interfered with the mics and shorted them out while her finger is on it. And that lie was repeated by Keith Christopher Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. That's the people you elected. That's who are in charge of the democracy. And you all have the audacity to call a disgraceful market behavior by the UNC, fighting for democracy, fighting for debate, fighting for the gray area that is the debate in that electoral college or the joint sitting of two houses. The constitution was not clear. Therefore, you required discussion, not allowing the leader of the opposition to finish reading her motion. Furthermore, the senators who voted, all of them independent senators, don't talk about what you read. What you read and what is read out, the whole idea of a motion is that the process and the procedure and the convention is that the motion must be read before it's debated, and sometimes bill must be read, bill second reading, bill third reading. What do you think that is for? That is proper procedure and process. So when I asked the Speaker what is going on, because the motion was not read when both houses came together. So what we voting on? All them independent senators went and voted. They may know what they vote on. That's why I said when I voted, I'm not so sure what I voted on. I know what it's supposed to be, but I have not heard it, and I vote in protest. But now, look carefully. I'll zoom in for all you to see the dastardly acts of the Speaker to mute the opposition, muting the leader of the opposition, muting duly elected members of parliament, muting 309,000 votes, muting the population from hearing the discussion, hearing the debate, hearing the arguments. Who is she to deny you the right to hear the arguments? Run it, Archie.
Guidelines has indicated
No.
Advises that they
Yes, a debt to democracy. You saw it there up close. And if you don't take my word for it, because you need facts, you need information, go on the Channel 11, Parliament channel, go back to Friday, 12:15, right? For those of you all, especially who have DigiPlay and so on that could rewind, excellent DigiPlay, imagine I'm saying that. You just go and you press play. It might be start at 12 o'clock. So fast forward to 12:15 and look from 12:15 to 1:03 or so and check and look at the light. Look at her hand. Look at her pressing the mic. And hear the nonsense that she suggested that the mics are not functioning because of the ponging on the table. A total flipping fabrication by the Speaker of the House and regurgitated and repeated by the dishonest liar of Emailgate, Keith Christopher Rowley. And y'all are saying, attacking the opposition, fighting for debate. What is Rowley so afraid of to debate? Anyway, the big question. Do you have confidence in the office of the president? 872 people say no. 148 people say yes. Here they say Joseph Andrews, I do not. It also appears to me that the president is a law unto herself. Trisha Ramlal, integrity in the highest office of the land, lying on the perception of such for important national decisions. Mark Samuel, no, this is not the time, it seems. Rishi Ram Singh, in the office according to the Constitution, in the person who currently holds it, no. Junior MP, my confidence is weakening by the weeks. Cheryl Patience, and on and on and on. And I put it to you, Madam President, even if in your mind you think you did nothing wrong, that you are absolutely perfect and you did absolutely nothing wrong, the mere fact that 85.5% of the population have lost confidence in the office of the president, the mere fact that I have to be discussing the office of the president on douglAR politics and radio and all over the place, the mere fact that citizens across the board have asked you to explain, the mere fact that you have brought the office of the president down to the mud, you should resign. You should resign, even if you did nothing wrong. A high-class, total, ethical, moral, brilliant, classy individual would resign. Do you agree with the outcome of the voting on the motion to impeach? Well, boy, out of 16 no and 6 yes. But yet you all are saying democracy wins. Let me tell you something. Let me even read for you from Dr. Winford James. And I am not a fan of Dr. Winford James, and he's not a fan of mine. But right is right and wrong is wrong. Dr. Winford James in the Express, Daily Express, Friday 22nd October 2021 said, people will continue to demand answers. I don't think it will die a natural death. Although in this country we have a 10-day or a 9-day wonder. It will stick in the country's craw, and every now and again, then it will float up through our mouths as if to choke us, said Dr. James. He said it is not going to disappear and may arise on the election hustings in the Tobago House of Assembly. Election set for December 6th. James said this is a political matter where there are a number of things that don't look right. He said there was no debate, so there could be no questions answered. There is a question that arises of the rightness of that judgment, that you could conduct an exercise of that kind without debate. Until this happened, I did not think that we will not have, or we could not have, a debate, says Dr. Winford James. He continued, a speaker that was not elected by the electorate holds sway over elected people. He said, adding that this seems upside down. There are questions that have not been answered and that we need answers to. One of them is, how could the Police Service Commission chair deliver a merit list and then withdraw it? How do you account for the fact that the letter was withdrawn and that was the end of that? The population, he added, wants to know who is the senior public official who visited the president. Somebody has to tell us, including the former chair of the Police Service Commission, what happened here, because there seems to have been a violation of separation of offices. Then Dr. Hamid Ghani. So all your media people, PNM media people who are attacking the opposition for trying to debate, trying to get information, trying to analyze. Be very careful. Put up Dr. Hamid Ghani there now. There are too many unanswered questions, said Ghani. He said the country is left in a situation where no answers are given. And what is the truth? I noted, said Hamid Ghani, the president's statement that the merit list was submitted on the 11th of August and withdrawn the same day. I am a little curious as to why she allowed it to be withdrawn, but that perhaps is a discussion for another day. Hamid Ghani. Now we go also to Dr. Emil Crown, who said, one would expect that a motion to remove the highest office holder in the land would be subject to debate. The need for debate arises by necessary implication from the very words of Section 36. It is self-evident in my view to suggest that the process is vote and go, is somewhat ironically itself unconstitutional. To suggest that parliamentarians simply vote and go detracts and undermines the very important role that the parliament as an institution plays in ensuring that the voices of the citizenry are heard and public trust and accountability are maintained. Let's go to Dr. Mukesh Basdeo. Basdeo noted that the opposition is not the only body with concerns, adding that persons in civil societies such as former independent Senator Martin Daly and others have expressed opinions and concerns. If it ends at the Electoral College and it doesn't move to the next stage, then a lot of issues and questions and concerns will be left unanswered. It will remain in the public domain, which will basically create a lot of anxiety and questions still over the head of the president. This members of the media who would like to play PNM and allow the speaker to mute the voices of the opposition, mute democracy, and stop the people from hearing the discussion. You all are upholding that and using such words as disgusting and disrespectful and so on. Really? Wasn't this act the most disrespectful act in the history of the parliament? Archie, I also want to hear Dr. Winford James. He was speaking with Fazir. Please run it. As he looks for it.
The Prime Minister pronounced on what happened and in fact the opposition's conduct as a disgrace. Your perspective on that?
Yeah, what could he possibly mean? I asked myself what the opposition was doing, and I looked at it carefully in a context where the speaker was being adamant about the rightness of the action she took. And she was adamant about disallowing debate on a motion that the opposition leader brought, which is at the heart of democracy, the ability to discuss, the freedom to discuss matters in that context, or against that background, what the opposition members were doing was every 60 seconds, from the desk intervene when the speaker was on her feet and so on, expect the speaker to yield to them, raise the same issue over and over and over again, obviously to frustrate the speaker in her intention of moving quickly to a conclusion to the matter, right? So is that what is that? Is that disgraceful? Or are they saying you should not pump desks? The Prime Minister did not detail an explanation as to what he meant by disgraceful. I don't know that he's the best person to comment on the behavior of the opposition in any event. What I'm saying here is the opposition was taking the only way out, using trade union tactics, for example, to delay and slow down and frustrate. In the end, of course, they did not prevail, as was predictable. They did not prevail. But it doesn't seem to me that they had another option. There was a guy who called in, that from the Senate, I think it's Anil. Anil asked the speaker, well, how do you expect me to respond to something that I did not hear? Because now that they had come together, the college, the two houses were brought together. Obviously, the people who were not there in the lower house at that time needed to be brought up to scratch. And he was asking a very pertinent question. Was that disgraceful? I don't know, people are too quick to talk about opposition politics being disgraceful when they should be focused on the content, the essence of it. And the essence is, could you not have allowed a debate to take place?
That's the essence of it. And other people here, Andre Phillip from Barataria says, given the overwhelming public interest in debate about the peculiar circumstances which led to the appointments and eventual rejection by the courts of both Mr. Griffith and Mr. Jacob, one would have thought that the parties involved in the imbroglio would have early grasped the opportunity to come to the public and clear the air. This is especially considering the seriousness of the allegations, right? And then V. David Manick says that the Prime Minister, on May 12, 2021, the UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that there could be a commission of inquiry into the government's management of COVID-19. The motive is to document shortcomings, if present, and to learn from these. All government and opposition welcome the move. This pronouncement highlights the spirit of true democracy and the system that places the people in its interests. Compare the above to the proceedings of Parliament on October 21st, 2021. No debate occurred on a critical motion found in the Constitution itself, the blueprint of our democracy. The Electoral College's vote was akin to a judge telling a jury to vote without even considering the prosecution. That is David Manick. And then we can hear Dr. Winford James again on a news report, Archie. Run it, because these media who playing PNM and calling themselves journalists, y'all are the most corrupt human beings and have this country in the state that it is. Independent institutions have become infiltrated by PNM. Now the media has been taken over and controlled. And now the Media Association is headed by two top PNM. This is not funny. This is why we have a dictatorship. This is why we're in a state of emergency and the economy has shut down, broke down, and locked down. This is why over 1,650 people have died. This is why we have 103 Delta variant, Brazilian variant ravaging us, porous borders, total potholes, no water, electricity, gas price going up, and we are struggling for foreign exchange. Run it, Archie.
Why not facilitate a healthy debate, particularly where it concerns matters of national interest? It's the question the public is being asked to consider by political analyst Dr. Winford James, who feels it is unfortunate that the focus is being placed on the opposition's conduct rather than on the substance of their motion.
In a democracy, what is so wrong in an opposition seeking to have a discussion on a matter on which questions have been asked and answers have not been provided? We have all read the statement of the president that she published. well-written statement, if you ask me, for Zir, but a statement that says so many things by omission. If you drop off a letter, that letter now becomes mine. How can the person who delivered the letter by hand come back and get the letter because she has changed her mind for reasons that you yourself don't even, you claim not to know?
And given what he says are the number of questions which remain unanswered about the entire situation, James feels there would have been merit in having the debate.
And he is absolutely correct, and that's the issue. If the merit list was delivered on August 11th, the president had it and must and shall and must and is duty bound to proceed to notify Parliament. Nothing else. She had no discretion. That's the issue. So stop playing games and stop hiding from debate and pressing and muting mics. We are becoming the laughing stock of the entire Commonwealth. A good president, Madam President, a patriotic president, a selfless president, an honest president, a classy president, a strong president, even if he or she had done absolutely nothing wrong, would have resigned to save the office, because the office is more important than the individual. Rowley said, talking and play answer Kamala questions. I'm going to go through this quickly. I'm running late, but I'm going to go through this because I want you all to hear this man that is the Prime Minister of the country. So Kamala asked him 9 questions. Here, Rowley. When did the Prime Minister advise the Police Service Commission that he had lost faith in the Commissioner of Police? Rowley, sometime last year. What caused his loss of faith in the former Commissioner of Police? Rowley, the PM's good judgment and understanding. Is that an answer? What is the PM's good judgment and understanding? That Gary was investigating something that he was getting too close to and he don't want Gary? Or that Gary went and told him that what he was saying in his COVID-19 conference was illegal and illegitimate and police couldn't run in people's house and do what they want? What it is? Question 3. Did he only write the chairman of the Police Service Commission or did he write all members? I wrote the chairman on the understanding that she was chairing a commission. And if I wrote the chairman, I in effect wrote the commission. No. You wrote the chairman. And the chairman happens to be on a PNM CDA board appointed by your Minister of Baldhead, Camille Robinson Regis, and K. Wild Singh and Dr. Craig James and McNish are on record as saying they didn't have receipt or did not read or did not have any view of those letters. Question 4. Did the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi know of this letter, or was he kept in the dark by his Prime Minister? No minister in my cabinet is ever in the dark. So therefore, Faris Al-Rawi knew and advised the Prime Minister that that was the correct action to take, to write an independent service commission about Gary Griffith, losing confidence in Gary Griffith. So Faris, you knew that? I wonder if Gary know that you knew that you know that he know that Rowley tell you that he had no confidence in him. Hey Faris, explain that one. Did the cabinet agree to undermine the process, or was this totally the Prime Minister's action? No action of the cabinet, says Rowley, involved any undermining of anything. Really? You undermine the independent process of the Police Service Commission in its appointment of a substantive Commissioner of Police. Right now, we have no Commissioner of Police. We have no Police Service Commission. And we are in a total constitutional crisis. And you are stating to the population that you did not undermine. It all happened from your loss of confidence in Gary Griffith. He then continued, the only time the cabinet got anywhere near this matter is when we got a legal opinion obtained by the National Security Council, which is a subunit of cabinet. And that legal opinion was taken to cabinet, and the cabinet advised the minister of now we throw a Talbot in it. So it's not only, remember, I told you there was a political person, a high public official, who interfaced on August 12th with Bliss C. Prasad and the president. That's Rowley. But then I also told you all that there was another cabinet official who intervened and misbehaved with the Police Service Commission when Kewal Singh in his email said that they conducted meetings trying to get evidence and facts on the table as to the exciting information that was whispered in Bliss ears. Those meetings occurred on the 26th, 27th, and 30th of August. Well, Rowley has just thrown Ethelbert under the bus. Here, Rowley. The cabinet advised the Minister of National Security to advise the Police Service Commission of the opinion of eminent senior counsel. Remember what the issue with senior counsel and the appointment, and Ethelbert telling Gary and giving instructions and coming to the Senate and telling me the PS overheard the conversation on speakerphone and then reiterate the PNM political editor the political editor of the Express reiterate had the story before Gary got it at 10 p.m. that he was being told to go on leave until further notice when Bliss C. Prasad went against the Police Service Commission and wrote the letter by herself. All you remember that? Well, it was Ethelbert. Rowley sell him out. So our next man in the mix. Question 7 from Kamla. How many other interferences has Rowley made over the last year since sending the loss of confidence letter to the Police Service Commission? The interface, Rowley says, among the Prime Minister's office, the President, and the Police Service Commission is never interference. You are rewriting the Constitution. What's our new Constitution? The 2021 dictatorship Constitution. It's never interference. It is clearly interference. You have interfered and caused the collapse of the Police Service Commission and no Commissioner of Police while people are suffering and dying and being murdered. And the police have no leadership, no focus, no method, no strategy. The interface, it is interfacing in the highest tradition of the Commonwealth. No. You're interfacing and interfering and misbehaving in the lowest level of a communist dictatorship like Maduro. You learn that in the Conga line. This man has talk nonsense straight out and believe like what he's talking about. He's create long-tested principles of corporate governance, procurement, propriety, convention, law, constitution. He does make up his own thing and song like he know what he talking about, Just like a fella I go show you just now, actually line up that other Rowley there for me. Was confidential information about the Police Service Commission being shared between the Office of the President and the Prime Minister? Well, I would presume that conversations between the Prime Minister and the President on any matter are confidential until either officer decides to make it otherwise. Really and truly? Question 9, was there collusion by the President, the Prime Minister, and the Police Service Commission to derail the merit list from being sent to the Parliament, or was it just coincidence that they happened to be at the President's house on August 12? The President described exactly what happened, that a merit list was brought to her and immediately withdrawn. Cannot be withdrawn. All right, merit list was brought to her. She shall send it to the Parliament. That's the problem. You see the issue? Don't get tied up, you PNM media and PNM institutions who feel that you're independent. Cool on yourself. Simple law, simple English. Keep the thing focused. Section 123(4). So, the President described exactly what happened, that a merit list was brought to her and immediately withdrawn. So I don't know how the Prime Minister and whoever else they choose to name got involved in derailing anything. The derailing began because you admitted a year ago you lost confidence in Gary Griffith for whatever reason. You don't want to tell me that is your business, but you cannot interfere in the independent duty of a Police Service Commission conducting independent assessment of applicants to serve as the Commissioner of Police. You cannot interfere, you cannot interface, you cannot whisper, you cannot give his hearsay in evidence, you cannot weaponize the National Security Council in order to prevent Double G, Gary, from getting a job. And whether it's Gary or not is irrelevant. You cannot get involved in the process because a Commissioner of Police is supposed to be free to lock you up. Now let me tell you how Rowley, they have a baby Rowley coming, Rowley, all of this nonsense, all of this lies about the speaker didn't press the button. Go and look at it. Rowley said the speaker didn't press no button. All you go and look at Parliament and see how Rowley's just lie every minute to all you. But you see, he's live with confidence. He's talk nonsense and dotishness with confidence. But I find a baby Rowley. Look at this fella, confident. Wrong and strong, but confident, just like Rowley. Run it.
I never said no, brother. But I was telling you, but like you stupid, boy.
Where England is?
England is in the USA. Is a stupid man. But you wanna like you done, see, boy? No. But you wanna bring dead, boy. You wanna bring dead, boy. Hey.
Rowley, that is Rowley. England is in the USA. You're a stupid man. Don't ask me nothing. That is exact Rowley. That is the amount of nonsense that clung all you have as Prime Minister Rowley is. Madam President, I leave you with this. With the Prime Ministers and the Minister of National Security hearsay brief. Let me ask you quietly. Asking Madam President. She's a brilliant Court of Appeal justice, eh? Hugh Wooden professor lecturing on ethics, right? I want to ask her this question. Would the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security's hearsay brief that they brought that excited you and Bliss, right? And that subsequently in the meetings with Ethelbert, we now know it was Ethelbert, the Minister of National Security, who could not provide Kewal Singh, Craig James and McNish, along with Sipasad, any evidence or any information on anything to deal with Gary Griffith and anything, right? They could not provide any cogent evidence. And Ethelbert even described the brief as just a systems audit. Madam President, with that brief or that hearsay evidence presented to you that excited you and Bliss, that carried our country into the constitutional crisis that it is now, would that evidence have ever been accepted in your court? Resign. And now, I will give you, as we go, I'm going to read a poem for you, an image, Archie. This is a revised poem originally written by Martin Niemöller, German philosopher, back in the time of World War II, but we've adapted it. Somebody adapted it to Trinidad and Tobago. So let me read it for you, the Rowley version of Trinidad and Tobago. When PNM came, first they came for Petrotrin, and I did not speak out, because I was not an oil worker. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came with property tax, and I did not speak out because I only had a small abode. Then they came and infiltrated the media, and I did not speak out because I couldn't be bothered. Then they came with curfew and restrictions, and I did not speak out because you never knew the truth. Because I supported the party, Then came COVID, and our money started to go, and I did not speak out because you never knew the truth. Then they came for the commissioner, and I did not speak out because I saw him as a UNC. Then they came for parliament, and I did not speak out because if I did, I would be called a traitor. Then they are coming for us, and there would be no one left to speak for me. So my brothers and sisters, unite. Stop the old talk. Stop getting sidelined by the media and nonsense. Our democracy is dead. This October, we bring it to the streets. Across this country, people are raising up and riling up against the dictatorship that is Keith Christopher Rowley. There is hope if we all unite. The PNM has designed the opposition to splinter since 1956, and they continue so to do. So all like-minded people who are fed up of our constitutional crisis, fed up of the poor governance, fed up of the poverty, lack of job creation, lack of revenue streams, and the total arrogance and disrespect that Keith Rowley runs this country with a strong arm, controlling all the institutions by PNM infiltration. All unite. November 26th, we shall be there. And let me tell you, There is one leader of the opposition with 309,000 votes. All must join. Bring your ideas. All are welcome. There can be no egos, no small, no one who wants, no one person is more important than Trinidad and Tobago. Those who want to stay and cry and look for crumbs on the table of Rowley, they are welcome so to do. But our country is too proud, too beautiful, too brilliant to be left in this darkness. In this Diwali season, light a light and join, unite. Just to show you all a piece of brilliance, while this show was dark, a lot of facts, but a lot of worrying facts. I leave you with some brilliance. I must say I love it. I don't like Answer McCall because they love Rowley and they print the Guardian and they push Rowley down our throats and they have us in darkness. But I must say that this Carib advertisement, this Caribbean brilliance, this joint, this showing of Caribbean excitement, creativity, beauty, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and all the islands in between. Carib, I must say, I love it. Shensia.
It's the way we play, it's the vibe we bring. Feel the rhythm flowing, brewing deep within, like the golden sun of the Caribbean. Welcome to my playground. A carnival of ecstasy in a true Caribbean way, and you know it's a celebration, life we celebrating, sunshine in every step with every sip we taking. Feel the rhythm, escape to paradise. We be living our favorite life. Here's a toast around the world, yeah. We be moving all day long. This is home. Toast around the world.